All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here coming in for a video on the bus, the Shadow Collective bus. And we're going to talk about a few different lists and evolving the bus and the different types of lists that you can make with the specifically Shadow Collective bus. I know that Shadow Collective will be getting a new vehicle soon, which is very exciting, especially since I absolutely love Shadow Collective so much. I don't know why. It's just such a fun battle force. So I'm going to go over that. The giveaway for the order tokens, the best order tokens in the galaxy, are still going on. And there's very few left. There's only 4 left. If you're interested, you can use the discount code for 10% off. Just use Shadow Scout when you're checking out, and that'll get you the discount. These things are awesome. They're made from a solid ABS composite material, and they're pretty heavy, which is great. They have a satisfying clunk when placed on the table. They are waterproof, so they're easy to clean. You don't have to worry about spilling anything on them and it ruining it. The graphics are high definition, so like if you see this, I specifically reached out to this guy, Jason, I think, Comscan, about his order tokens, and I was like, hey man, what do I got to do to get some of these? Because these things are freaking insanely good. And he was absolutely amazing and kind of like wanted to partner up a little bit. So I can't recommend this guy enough. How awesome he is. He's going to be able to help you out with whatever you need. Just message him, go to his store. He's even got the best like other stuff. Like if you're just not even interested in these awesome Shadow Scout ones, there are different ones on his Etsy store. So the link will be in the description down below. The giveaway for them is still going on. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment. Also head to the Discord where you can chat and talk about stuff. You can, if you've got questions on Empire, Rebels, CIS, GAR, Shadow Collective, feel free to chime in. If you're working on stuff, feel free to post it. It's nice to kind of see everything that you guys show, whether it be Star Wars related or even not, just kind of showing off your skill. And yeah, so the other ways to get more entries into the giveaway is if your server level goes up. I'm going to be counting everything from June 1st all the way through July until we get to about the middle of July. So the third week, I think next week, we'll announce the winner. So it gives people enough time to get in. And head on over to the Patreon. Man, I can't talk. The Patreon, where you can help really support this channel and support the giveaways and everything that's going on. This was allowing me to do stuff on Cocozula's stream when he was in France to give away a Commander Operative expansion of that person's choice for the giveaway for the Discord's League, and hopefully for the campaign that we're going to be doing. So this is a great way to just kind of support it and get your name shouted out at the very, very end. All right, well, I won't keep you guys waiting. We'll go ahead and go over the bus. So the bus is Armor 5. It's a ground vehicle. Even though it can hover, it's still going to block line of sight. It's got a free reposition, so you kind of get 2 repositions. So whenever you put the movement tool down, you can technically rotate a little and then do your movement, and then you can use the reposition to reposition again. So that way you're really able to zip through and wind through terrain, like buildings and stuff like that. So the reposition keyword is amazing. It also is really going to help with the side gunner. So like you can move forward as you need and then reposition to the side. The weak point is in its rear, so it's going to be very hard if your butt is up against a building. No one can really get into that arc, or your rear arc, I should say. And it is a transport. It's a heavy transport that will slingshot your guys far forward, much better than a Scout 3 onto the board. So if you're looking for a Scout 4, even though there is no such thing, you can transport them. All right, and it's 8 health, 6 breaks on 6. It is surging to defense on white dice, so at least you got a 1 in 3 chance, basically a 2 in 6, if you want to say that, chance of rolling a block. And it's speed 1, but because it's so long of a base, it's going to still be moving pretty far forward, so that's a good thing. And there are basically 2 kind of like upgrades that you can use for the bus, and then a pilot upgrade and an ordnance, and as well as a comms upgrade. And we'll kind of go over all of them now. So the Backworld Medic is the only medic in Shadow Collective. It's going to take an action, and it brings back a mini. And you can use this as long as it's alive as an action. There's no, like, you know, heal 2, or heal 1, capacity 2. No, it's not like that. It's an action. You bring it back. But you have to roll 2 white defense dice, and for each paint you see on those defense dice, you're going to give them a suppression. It's kind of like you just stabbed them with an adrenaline needle, and they woke up, and they're like, what the heck is going on? And they're suppressed. So that is the Backworld Medic. If it used to be much better when we had shields on this thing, because then you could actually get off more than 1 or 2 rounds of using the Backworld Medic. But really now it's only going to work maybe 1, maybe 2 rounds. You could get it to 3, but with the amount of impact and ion that's out there, it's really, really tough. But it is a great upgrade for this battle force because, again, there's no medic at all. So the Backworld Medic is usually a plus if you can get it. The Door Gunner is new, and it is an amazing upgrade if you can get it off after round 1. Round 2, you're definitely going to be getting it off, but if you get blown off the board round 1, it's not going to work. So you really kind of want to go last first with the bus, usually in Shadow Collective, because there's no healing the bus. You don't have an astromech in this battle force, so you're kind of stuck with if the AA5 gets 5 wounds, it gets 5 wounds, and it's going to suck. So do what you can to kind of go with it last, later in the round, as best you can. So improvised orders is going to be great, or even an HQ uplink on this thing. It'll go a long way. So, but the Door Gunner is after this unit makes an attack action during its activation. If it did not add this weapon to the attack pool during the attack action, it may make a free attack action using only this weapon, even though it's already made an attack action this turn. So, because the truck does not have Arsenal 2, you cannot add the Door Gunner to either the heavy laser retrofit or the quad laser. You have to just do it after the attack. And like I said, or like it says, after the attack is made with the quad laser or the retrofit, then you can make it a separate attack with the Door Gunner. And that's also basically to prevent you from combining the entire dice pool and using an aim when you wouldn't be able to otherwise if you shot with the Door Gunner after using the quad laser. So you'll be making 2 attacks, but you get a free attack. So it's nice. It's kind of like Arsenal 2 Light, but it is a great upgrade for 12 points, 2 black, 2 white, range 1 to 2, and it's on the sides. And the speeder truck's base is very long, so it's going to have a huge side arc. And with the fact that you can reposition, you can definitely get off shots using the Door Gunner. You don't surge offensively, and you're getting, dice that need the surge, but for the fact that you're getting a free attack action with 4 dice is not bad. It's really, really good. The Unorthodox Tactician is expensive, but it can do a lot of good if you are bringing like Black Sun, if you want to, if you have a lot of pikes, being able to give them some aims while the capos are giving them a lot of dodges. This is really good. But the Unorthodox Tactician is super good. It's expensive, but it's great. And for me, I'm very aggressive with my truck, so I tend to go forward quite a bit. So the Unorthodox Tactician wouldn't last too long for the price point it is. So I don't usually bring it, but there are really good cases to bring it. And I might actually, at the end of this, make a list with the Unorthodox Tactician for Shadow Collective. And the Unstable Astromech. So at the end of this unit's activation, you can basically get rid of this card, use it just once. And if you do, this unit may make an attack or move. So it's at the end of the unit's activation. Then after the effect is resolved, you're going to roll 3 black dice, 3 black attack dice, and then this unit's going to suffer a wound for each hit and crit rolled. So you've got a pretty decent chance of getting some wounds, but if it's worth it to shoot again, possibly 14 dice that one turn, then I would say it's worth it because that's 2 suppression, 14 dice, and maybe even an extra 4, so 18 dice that round for 6 points. Definitely a bring. All right. So then now we've got 2 pilots. We have a Frenzied Gunner and a Raiding Party Leader. The Frenzied Gunner is going to add an attack dice to your attack pool. So whenever you're about to make a ranged attack during the forming attack pool step, you can roll a red defense dice. On a blank, you're going to add a white. On a block, you're going to add a black. And on a surge, you're going to add a red dice to the attack pool. And if you're bringing the quad laser, now you're going to be able to add 7 or add one more for 7 dice at range 3, impact 2, or you're going to be able to roll 4 dice, range 1 to 4, with critical 1, which is still very good, especially if you're keeping the truck pretty far back. And I'll kind of change a list in a little bit to reflect that, but yeah, and that way we kind of get 2 of the weapons on there, but being able to add a dice is really, really good for 5 points. All right, and then your Raiding Party Leader gives you the Allies of Convenience and Field Commander. This way the truck can give orders to anybody. Because if you look at the Vigo doesn't have the Allies of Convenience, so the Black Sun Vigo can only give orders to other Black Sun. The Capo can only give orders to the Pikes. So if you don't have another unit with, like, say you bring Maul, if you don't have the truck and you have to play standing orders, well, you're going to have to nominate either the Pike or the Vigo, and, they're already commanders, so you don't have to necessarily nominate somebody random. But if you had the truck, you'd be able to give out those orders with a 3-pip to anybody. Now, if you just played a 3-pip, normally, like the discretion, you're going to have to nominate your Pike. And then you don't have to give orders out, but if you do, you'd have to only give them to Pikes. But yeah, so having Allies of Convenience and then Field Commander is really good. And then all allied vehicles gain Demoralize. And all your vehicles will have this symbol right here, including the Swoop Bikes. They'll also have it. And the new Weequay attack tank will also have the same symbol. So having the Raiding Party Leader is going to give out a suppression. Whatever vehicle it is will hand out a suppression at range 1 to 2 during its rally step. And I know that you don't rally because you're not going to get suppression, but it's basically before your 2 actions start, you're going to hand out 1 suppression at range 2. So that's really good, especially if you've got 5 vehicles in your list. That's 5 suppression that turn that you're going to possibly be giving out on top of shooting. So if you want a really good suppressive list, the Raiding Party Leader could be a really good bonus. Now we've gone over the quad laser, impact 2, 6 black dice, and the heavy retrofit, which is critical 1, range 1 to 4, a rainbow. Not too bad. Now if we look at the comms, we can really kind of narrow down what we want depending on the list. HQ uplink is going to be huge because if it gets an order or doesn't get an order, it's fine because it doesn't have independent, so there's no benefit not giving it an order, so HQ uplink could be really good. But HQ uplink is also 10 points on a bus when everyone's bringing impact and ion. You're going to want to go with it first as fast as you can before it blows up, but it's also 10 points. If it does blow up, adding it to 75 on top of whatever else. So it's a lot of points to lose. You just got to be careful of how you're playing the HQ uplink. Hacked comms would be great because then with the size of your base, if you are getting really close to a bunch of units and they're going to get an order, then you get an order. So then you can go first and you don't have to worry about it if you played like a 1-pip and you wind up going. But yeah, you wind up getting an order at least with hacked comms, and they can really, really help. Comms Jammer is also really good because basically enemy units within range 1 of this unit cannot be issued orders unless they're issuing it to themselves. So if it's their own command card, they can do it. If they are using HQ uplink themselves, then yes, they can do it. Other than that, you can't give them an order. So, and again, with the size of the base, this is a really good upgrade to have. The onboard comms channel, because Shadow Collective does not really want orders because they all benefit from independent except for Gar Saxon and Maul, you kind of don't want anyone to get an order. So the onboard's comm channel could be good if you're not, if you're trying to not give out, orders, if you've got the raiding party leader and you've got the onboard's comm channel, then you can give that order out basically to like Gar Saxon or Maul if you're trying to play, like I said, like discretion or aggression or ploy, then it would be pretty good because then you just give out one order, which will give it out a second, and then you still get to benefit from the other. So like 2 units, well, you've given one an order. The other unit that you don't give an order to, you can go ahead and give out an aim, I think is what it is. Yeah. And then discretion, you give out 1 order, which I'll hand it out to somebody else. And then you've got 2 orders that you can give out dodges to. So it kind of helps a lot to at least give an order out and still benefit from the card. So onboards can be great. And Spotter Uplink is probably going to be one of the top ones because of how cheap it is and because it's also giving your units Sharpshooter 1. So imagine Blackstone Enforcers that have the shotgun with Sharpshooter 1. Or imagine your Super Commandos finally having Sharpshooter 1 with the amount of dice they're throwing. That'll be really good. And with the amount of dug in that we might see, being able to throw your truck forward and get aggressive with it with only Spotter Uplink can be really good because now you've thrown a useless bus up there that's already transported you now, and now it's going to provide, Sharpshooter 1. If it's going to take 2 moves round 1 to get slightly close enough and close to your opponent's deployment zone, if they're still in your opponent's deployment zone, you're not going to make it round 1. But also, at least your opponent is shooting the bus, hopefully, and not your other units. Or if they are shooting your other units, then you move your bus up there next round, and now you've got Sharpshooter 1, and their dug in is going to be less effective, at least, hopefully, with the Spotter Uplink. So that is something to think about. So now, what I'll do is I'll make like a quick little, just unorthodox tactician with maybe the Backworld Medic, and let's go with the Heavy Laser Retrofit and the Frenzied Gunner. And maybe we'll do HQ Uplink. So this one, to me, would sit in the back and not necessarily go forward and be very aggressive because you want to hand out as many aims as possible, bring back units, because the Unorthodox Tactician, it's just when this unit activates, you're going to roll the 3 defense dice, and for each block and surge, you're going to choose a different friendly unit at range 3 and give them an aim for each paint you see. And that doesn't cost an action. That is just free. Then your first action could be to heal someone or move and then heal somebody. Now, if you don't have anyone to heal, at least you can shoot with a Heavy Retrofit and shoot with the Frenzied Gunner to give yourself 4 dice. If anything, at least you don't have to have these 2 on there. And having a bus at 103 points, giving out free aims, healing people, and having an HQ uplink to bring back an order to itself is really good. Now, you might only get that off 1 turn, but if you're in a good position, you might be able to recover, heal somebody, and then get your HQ uplink back. So this, I think, is also a really good speeder truck. Again, if it's not going to be that aggressive, if maybe you throw somebody forward and then you heal, and the next round you use HQ uplink and then do it again, or if anything, you use HQ uplink round 1. If you don't have anybody to heal, you just recover and stay there, so that way you have it for next round, and the next round you use HQ uplink again. You bring somebody back after someone's already died that round. Or if Gar Saxon, Boss, Cad Bane, or Maul, if they have a wound, then you can just do that at the beginning of round 2, and then move. Unorthodox Tactician would be really good with Bosk, really good with Gar Saxon and his sniper rifle, and again, really good with, the Black Sun or Pikes because they need that aim. But being able to give that free aim to Bosk is so good. And again, Gar Saxon really wants aims, especially with his sniper rifle, because of the fact that you're going to want lethal 1 or a long shot. And the more aims you have, the better. Okay? Now, we'll go ahead and finish building this one out. So let's go with this, and let's just say you want to go with Bossk. Let's just say he's going to have mission objective on the hunt and targeting scopes, because getting a free aim, targeting other people with wounds is going to really help with your 4 white dice, surge crit, and 1 red. Targeting scope is going to really help to be able to roll 3 for each aim, and then mission objective, you can just get a free roll if they are around any kind of POI or holding any kind of other objective like surface scan or recon, or the destroy enemy base. They're going to be holding something, so mission objective could be really good for that. And now you're going to give out a free aim with Unorthodox Tactician. Let's just say you want to throw a Black Sun into the bus, and we're going to give it the scatter gun and the Vigo, and then we're going to put a Vigo in there. Let's actually, you know what, instead of that, let's just go with the Black Sun Enforcer, a regular one, to make this 1 cheap, and 2, they're probably going to die round 1, if not near the beginning of round 2. So you don't have to put a lot into them, but you can at least give them something. And then a Black Sun Vigo with improvised orders, because you want improvised orders in here, period. And then let's go with maybe like 2, maybe 3 pikes, and they're going to have the Disruptor and the Capo for that surge and the range 1 to 4 gun, along with impact. And then, you know, you've got a lot of points left, so maybe we go with some bikes, and that can give you strike and fade. And you know what? Now that we've got 4 vehicles, how about we go with the raiding party leader and make sure that the swoop bikes will hand out a free suppression to everybody, and you still have a little bit left over. So let's just say we give ourselves another pike, and let's give ourselves portable scanners. Now you've got 13 activations. Boss could get a dodge from portable scanners. He can also give that portable scanners out to all the other pikes. And now that you have 3 pike capos, each round, every pike foot soldier could have 2 dodges at the beginning of the round. And that's going to be very helpful, because you've now at least handed out suppression, which will benefit the pike capo with the danger sense. And you are now allowing the expensive / kitted out pike foot soldiers 2 dodges to begin with, and a surge. And then at the beginning of the capo's activation, when they roll, maybe they get off the suppression. Now they've got none, and now they aid a dodge, and then this one hands out a dodge, and then this one doesn't recover, still has a suppression. You aid, giving it a second suppression, and then you recover, and now all of your pikes have 3 dodges on them, and they haven't even gone yet. So that could be really good. And then this last one can maybe aim and do something. Or maybe this guy aims and then hands out a dodge. But this at least also gives you the ability to take a dodge and then hand out a dodge, because you can't do the same action twice. So portable scanner will allow you to do that. But the portable scanner will at least have Bossk and or the AA5s or swoop bikes to be able to get a dodge if needed. And 13 activations is a lot. Yeah, you do have almost an entire army of white saves, but with the fact that the foot soldiers have danger sense 2 and courage 2 now, it's so good. And yeah, Bossk is going to be great for bounty and long range. And so now you've got let's see, 4 units that are really long range. You've got a really close range unit that's going to be able to get up close and personal with them. You've got Black Sun Vigo. And the reason I have the Black Sun Vigo in here, okay, is because, and I wanted to talk about this, the Black Sun that are going to go into the speeder truck can, at the beginning of round 1, you say, all right, well, the Black Suns are going to be in the truck. Here's an order. They don't get an aim because they just were given an order. But you can aid an aim from the Black Sun Vigo into the Black Sun that are going into the truck, because they're never going to technically, again, be in the truck. From what I understood, asking in the rules, they're not technically in the truck. They are assigned to be in the truck, They basically teleport from off the board to on the board. So they're never out of line of sight. They are technically still going to be in line of sight at range. So that's why you can aid a aim from the Vigo onto the Scatter Enforcers. Now, if you really wanted, say that you had 2 Black Sun Vigo and the Black Sun Enforcers, well, now you can aid 2 aims to them. And so now at least the Black Suns still get aims while they go into the bus and get an order. So plan around that, and I've got a few list ideas that actually go along with it. But yeah, here is a support truck with 3 swoop bikes, 3 pikes that are all kitted out, a Black Sun that's going into the truck, Bosk, which can stay back behind and shoot long range, and suppressive. So this is going to be a fairly suppressive list against your opponent. So I highly recommend using it. Big time. Okay, so that's 13 activation first list. The other one is 11 activations with Maul. Maul has Clairvoyance, Force Push into the fray in Darksaber. Clairvoyance because I've had many a times where Maul has just blanked out all his dice. And with the amount of dice that are going through nowadays, having Clairvoyance is going to be really good. And into the fray for defense because he's got the Darksaber, which will automatically surge to crit, so you don't have to worry about spending tokens for offensive stuff, only for defense. And so you've got the ability to keep Maul safe with surge tokens for defense and Clairvoyance and his 3-pip that allows him to take off 2 wounds. So this should, in theory, help Maul stay alive for an extra round or 2, depending on how you're able to use him and get his command cards out. And then with Cunning, it could really help if both of y'all play a 3-pip. You now take off your 2 wounds and get a free recover, and you're going to get to go first. So that way you can get the attack off. And then maybe after the attack, they attack you, you crap your roll, because you only got maybe you got a surge token. Don't spend your surge token. Spend Clairvoyance, re-roll. Now maybe you've got all blocks and 1 surge. Well, now you've got the surge token, and you don't take any more wounds, and you're good. And so next round, you can still go, and it preserved you a whole round at least. So I love Clairvoyance. It's just so hard because Force Push, if I had Force Push in 2 different games instead of Clairvoyance, it would have been so much easier for me. But it's a safeguard, and I don't mind the safeguard. You gotta try to win still. I've got a Black Sun Vigo. I've got a Pike Kappa with Improvised because I'm putting the Improvised orders on a cheaper unit to almost equal it out. 50 with the Black Sun Vigo, 53 with the Kappa with Improvised orders. If I put the Improvised orders on the Black Sun Vigo, he'd be 55, and if he died, that's 5 points extra on the Black Sun instead of the Capo, and that kind of sucks. So maybe they go after your red saves instead of your white saves. Well, then you've just lost a cheaper unit rather than the more expensive unit. So I always put Improvised on the cheaper unit, so Pikes, 2 of them. And I'll explain why. I've got a Black Sun Vigo with the Scatter Gun and the Black Sun Vigo for more firepower up close and pierce. I've got one that's going with the Magdet Enforcer, the Vigo, and Environmental Gear so that you can make sure that you aren't slowed down so that you can get that range 1 shot off. Now, if you wanted to get rid of Environmental Gear and change into the fray for Tenacity, you could do that because of the 2 extra points there. So if you want to make him a little bit more aggressive and use Clairvoyance instead of really into the fray, then that should also work. That way it kind of balances out to be more equal rather than purely defensive Maul, in my opinion with that. 2 Pike Syndicates fully kitted out with the Disruptor and the Capo, so you get some long range shots in there. And then I've got a Foot Soldier Pikes with the Whip, the Foot Soldier, and the Concussion Grenades. This unit would be the one that's going into the bus with the Electro Whip, the Concussion Grenades to prevent cover, and the Foot Soldier because it's going to get shot up quite a lot, and it's going to die fairly quickly. So why put an 18-point upgrade on there and just use the 9 and give yourself a free aim with that. It's going to make up for not having a surge, and even though it's not Courage 2 and they're going to get shut up quite a bit, at least they're shooting that and nothing else. Plus, because you've got the Pikes going in there and you have 2 Capos, you can use both capos to aid their dodges to the foot soldiers going in the bus. So now the pikes going in the bus will start out with 2 dodges and an aim, technically. And if you get cunning deployment, then now they've started with 3 dodges. So that is a great way to make sure that they're soaking up as much firepower as possible while your other units go forward and do whatever they need to. And hopefully it slows down your opponent for a round, if anything. Whoops. Okay. And we also have a Mandalorian unit with Rook, mission objective, emergency stims, and the jetpack rocket. So Rook, when you take Rook, you are basically going for the retinue with Maul, which is going to provide backup to Maul and give you more dice in melee and up in range 2 and an extra wound. So it's really nice to bring Rook, but you're giving up the marksman, which is 3 dice and range 1 to 3 and precise 1. So you don't quite get the precise or the range very nicely. So you have to make up with the precise 1 with mission objective, which is pretty great because now you get to reroll an aim or a dice without spending the aim, and you're probably going to spend the aim to reroll everything else anyway. So I put mission objective on there, and then I've got the speeder truck with the frenzied gunner, the quad laser, the door gunner, and an unstable astromech. So this is more of a attack bus, more of a get in your face and use this bus to go ham on your opponent. You are going to basically shoot the quad laser with the frenzied gunner, giving you 7 dice. Then hopefully you can shoot with the door gunner. If you're playing something like Breakthrough and you get them close enough to you, then the door gunner could be good. If not, at least round 2, you can move, shoot with the 7 dice, and then shoot with the door gunner, and then use unstable astromech to shoot again the quad laser and proctor the frenzied gunner, not the door gunner. So you can't use the door gunner with unstable astromech after you're using or during the unstable astromech. So don't think that you're going to be able to use the door gunner twice in one round. Okay, so that is this one. It's 11 activations. You get a force user, you get Mandos, you get Black Sun, you get the pikes, and you get an attack bus. So very aggressive. For me, I've got bunker assault, research, and breakthrough in here. Everything kind of close range. Plus, with recover the research, since you're keeping the Black Sun out of the bus, you kind of want to be able to hold your own objectives on your side. And so that's what the Black Sun are going to be there for. The other pikes can go onto the edges because they've got long range. And again, they're Courage 2, so they can kind of like stay on their own. They're not going to be any better than the capo. It's just the capos are there to hand out dodges basically round 1 to the ones going in the bus, and then one can go with one unit, the other can go with the other unit if need be. That way you're handing out another free dodge to both of these, but you're probably never going to use those capos to hand out any more dodges to the guys that came out of the bus. All right, but yeah, the bus right here is more of an attack and aggressive style. You've got surface scan, sweep and clear, and destroy the enemy base because you've got the bandos in there. So the destroy enemy base can throw them off. And then cunning deployment is going to work so well with these pikes going in the bus, giving them 3 dodges, and they can cancel crits with their outmaneuver. All right, so this one is more Mando focused. You've got Gar Saxon with mission objective, up close and personal. The Saxon combat shield. You've got the jetpack rockets and the flame projector. So now you've got a way to have a blast impact throughout the list as well. You've now also got the ability to, at least when you get to range 3, shoot the jetpack rockets, and the next round you're going to use the flame projector or possibly his own pistol, which will have pierce naturally. So that's really nice to have. Then you've got 2 pike capos, one with improvised orders. You've got another 2 foot soldiers with the disruptor and the pike capo. So now you've got some Courage 2 units, which is really nice. You've got 3 more foot soldiers with the electro whip, the capo, and concussion grenades. And obviously, if you didn't want concussion grenades on there, that's an extra 6 points that you can use for something else. Maybe like Gar Saxon getting the emergency transponder for the extra aim in case you needed it. You could also, it's 6 points here. You've got 2. You could give 2 of these guys the environmental gear if you wanted, or you could give the Mandos, something else. But at least I put concussion grenades on here because I want to deny the cover. If you wanted to put sonic imploders on here instead, you could split fire, and you could have one guy throw the sonic imploder, and since you have a surge token through the capo, at least you have a better chance of getting a hit to hand out 2 suppression at that range 1. And then your whip is suppressive, and they can roll the 2 red at range 1 and immobilize, and then you can shoot to hand out a 3rd suppression. So if you just wanted these guys to be a suppression generator, instead of the concussion grenades, use the sonic imploders and suppress your opponents as much as you can, and at least you've got 2 weapons that are suppressive weapons. So that's so good, especially with maybe some of the, especially if you had 5 vehicles and you decided to do the sonic imploders, your list is just, again, with the same with the first list right here. If we had more points to be able to give out the, all right, so say we get rid of portable scanner. Okay, get rid of portable scanner and make one of these guys an electro whip. And now you've got a whole ton more points. Let's see. So hold on. Actually, let's just let's keep portable scanners on one of them. And now we'll give this guy the sonic imploders. And now you've got 10 more points to deal with. You could technically just go ahead and make it a search. Why not? Give yourself courage too. Don't be suppressed. Sure. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. Again, all of these will be in the description down below for you. And then you've got 2 commando units with the marksman, mission objective, emergency stims, and the jetpack rockets. That way, since you don't surge offensively, you're going to be able to have precise 1, technically precise 2, but the rolling is different. So like you'll re-roll your 3 with aim, and then you're going to re-roll your 1 without the aim with mission objective. Don't roll all 4 together. But it's a highly more aggressive unit. If you wanted to change out the marksman with the gunslinger, you could technically spend your aim for lethal and then use the mission objective to try to re-roll the dice, and then there you go. That could also work since the marksman and the gunslinger are technically the exact same price. And then you've got 2 trucks with the unstable astromech, door gunner, frenzy gunner, the quad laser, and spotter uplink. So these are 2 more aggressive trucks that you're holding, and so you've got your 2 foot soldiers that are going into the bus. Again, now you've got 2 capos, so you could technically aid a dodge to each unit going into the bus, so that at least they start out with a dodge. And again, if you're lucky enough to get cunning deployment, you can give them both another dodge. So that's at least 2 dodges that they're starting out with. And they would not start out with a surge because of the fact that they're getting an order, and the Pike Capo is an independent surge. So yeah, you got to be careful with that. But the 2 other Mando units are fast, and you've got an aggressive attack bus with the unstable astromech, being able to, at least if you needed to move again, you could move again to block line of sight, or if you wanted to shoot again, it's very aggressive. And then with the spotter uplink, on the forum, they ruled that sharpshooter 1 will stack. So now you could have sharpshooter 2 if both of your buses are at range 1 of a unit, which again really helps with the fact that now dug in is going to be a little bit more prominent probably in a lot of Empire lists, and definitely Echo-based Defender lists. All right, so that is 11 activations and a few Mandos. We have this one here with the 5 vehicles, so that that way the raiding party leader I should say, yeah, is going to be a little bit more prevalent here. So you've got a Black Sun Vigo with improvised. You've got another Black Sun Vigo by himself, and then 2 Pike Capos. So you've got 2 and 2. You've got 2 Black Sun Enforcers with the Magdets, the Black Sun Vigo, and both of them have frag grenades. If you wanted to get rid of that, you've got now 15 points to do with what you want. If you wanted to hand out some more things, you could. If you wanted to make one of these a Black Sun Enforcer scattergun and one with concussion grenades to prevent any kind of cover, you could. Now you're getting rid of a white dice, but the fact that they've got no cover kind of makes up for it, because that white dice probably is going to roll a blank anyway, and it's going to be Pierce 1. So making sure that you're getting through cover for sure is quite helpful. So yeah, you definitely might want to put these in the bus. The Black Sun Enforcers with the Magdet and Black Sun Vigo could also go in the bus. You could pick one. I would, unless you're picking both. Picking both is fine, because you've got long-range pikes here with the Disruptor and the Capo. So that way they can kind of hold down a POI. These other 2 Black Sun Vigos or Black Sun Enforcers will be going forward in the buses. You've got 3 swoop bikes with strike and fade, so that way you can compulsory move for your first action, shoot with your second action. Hopefully you took independent aim, and then you exhaust the strike and fade to do another free move. So now you've done 3 movements with the swoop bikes, and then next round maybe you can compulse move, recover, shoot, and then do another move again, or at least, if anything, recover, shoot if you're in a good spot, and then the next round you have it again to get farther away, because you could have just moved, shot, and then next round don't worry about it again. It just kind of depends. The strike and fade is pretty good, I think. And if I think it's going to be even better with the raiding party leader, because now it gives you a chance to really get into the range you need to be in to hand out a suppression with the raiding party leader. So you've got the 3 swoop bikes, you've got a more of an attack and aggressive speeder truck with the door gunner, astromech, the frenzied gunner, and the quad laser, and then you've got a support bus with the unorthodox tactician, backworld medic, raiding party leader, and the heavy retrofit. So again, staying in the back, healing, and handing out aims to specifically probably the pikes and or the buses, or sorry, the bikes, and or the Black Sun Enforcers here. So at least in the beginning of your turn, before you go onto the board, you'll roll your dice and possibly give out another aim to the Black Sun Enforcers. So you'll probably, with these 2 Vigos, aid at the beginning of round 1 your aim to these Black Suns, because they're not going to be getting an aim for getting an order. So now they'll start out with an aim, no surge. And then the speeder truck, at the beginning, maybe you go with the raiding party leader one first, because then hopefully you roll. Let's just say you get lucky and you roll all of them, and you get paint on all your red dice. You give 1 aim out to the speeder truck, and you give your other 2 aims out to both Black Sun Enforcers. So now both Black Sun Enforcers start out with 2 aims. And then your attack aggressive bus is also got an aim. So now you can move onto the board, drop your load, your Black Sun, and then sorry. All right. Yeah, if you just came in on that like somebody else did a long time ago, you probably are thinking really weird. Drop your load and drop your Black Sun. No. Let's backtrack there. You'll transport your BSC out there, and then you can attack with an aim. Boom. And if you're lucky enough to be at range 2 of something, you reposition and shoot your door gunner at the same time. But this guy is meant to stay in the back because he's got the range 1 to 4 gun, and mostly just trying to hand out suppression as well. That's 13 activations, but nothing crazy in there. You're going to be using all the normal, ploy, ambush, aggression, discretion, and assault. You're definitely handing out your orders with assault to the AA5s, and maybe you'd have to give it to somebody else. So maybe one of the swoop bike riders, if anything, because you definitely want all of these guys to get what they need. If you needed to give it to any of the Vigos or the Capos, that's fine, especially if they're suppressed, and aiding a dodge or aim is going to suppress them more, or maybe panic them. At least giving them an order so they don't have to do that, and then you can recover and then aid, or you're going to have to roll for suppression anyway. Roll for your suppression, and then with your one action aid, recover, I should say. Or if you're a Black Sun Vigo, you have Dauntless, so you can move and then recover. So that's really nice, at least with the Black Sun there. And yeah, 13 activations. That's very good. And this one is 11 activations, and this is not an aggressive bus at all. This is a naked bus, because this bus is meant to be a line of sight blocker and aggressively trying to just soak up shots. So move it in a way to where it's completely line of sight blocking your units, or getting in the way of having your opponent move so that they have to shoot at it. This gives you a Black Sun Vigo with Improvised, another Black Sun Vigo with Trusted Agent. You've got the Pike Capo. You've got Maul with Force Push, Force Choke, and Into the Fray, kind of making him more aggressive, but at least giving him the ability, instead of Clairvoyance, to save on defense dice with a Surge. Because he's an operative, because you're not bringing the Darksaber, Trusted Agent could hand him an order. Now, Trusted Agent is going to work because it just says, if you do, choose an allied operative unit and issue it an order. It doesn't say same affiliation. It would say same affiliation because Strike Team Leader specifically says a Special Forces unit that has the same affiliation. So you can, with Trusted Agent, give it to a Black Sun Vigo and give it to Maul. That way, if you wanted to bring Ploy or Aggression and Discretion, you don't have to give out orders, and you can hand out all of your dodges or aims, but then still give an order through Trusted Agent to Maul. So you at least have order control on a time that you wanted to hand out even more tokens to your guys. And then you're probably going to put the Black Sun Enforcers with the Scattergun with the Vigo and Prepared Supplies into the bus. Give yourself a free dodge. Your two Vigos will hand out both of their aid aims to the guys going into the bus. So now the Black Sun Enforcers will have 2 aims and a dodge while going into the bus, Courage 2. So that way they can, if they are still alive, they can, if they are getting suppression, at least they've got a better chance of getting 2 actions. If not, Dauntless and move and then shoot because they're going to die anyway, or Dauntless into a safe spot and then recover. So that way these guys stay alive a little bit longer because they're pretty expensive. You've got 2 Magdet Enforcers with the Vigo and Recon Intel to move them across the board fairly quickly since they're not going to be in the bus. You've got 2 Foot Soldiers with the Disruptor and the Capo. And don't be fooled, these guys will survive quite a bit because the fact that they've got Danger Sense and some dodges to begin with the other Capo is they're really good. And then you want to have that range 4 gun and the Surge because it does really help a lot. It's also more impact. You've got a single unit of Rook Cast, Emergency Stims, and Jetpack Rockets. So again, a 5 health unit of Mandos plus Emergency Stims can really help. And you can recover Emergency Stims. A lot of people who I play are like, well, I thought that was, it had an X on there and you can only use it once. No, you can recover and use it a second time. So in one of my other games, I had played Maul's, let's just say, his Eminence, and I had Rook's unit suppressed. I think they had 3 suppression on them, and I was able to. They were at range 1 of Maul, so they did not have to. They went through the rally step and did not have to. All right, so let me just read it. Maul's going to gain a dodge. Each other trooper unit within range 1 of Maul is going to gain a suppression, so which put them up to 3. And until the end of the round, each time an allied trooper unit starts its activation within range 1, it's going to skip its rally step and cannot be suppressed or panicked. So you can skip the rally step, still get your 2 actions. You're not suppressed, you're not panicked. So the first action they did was recover, which got them back their emergency stims, and then they shot because they already had retinue, and then they got an aim from retinue, and then they got an order which gave them a dodge. So I could go ahead and recover, still have an aim, and then still shoot. And then got emergency stims back, so that way if she got shot at by herself, since she would eventually wind up being by herself, and it was the last round, emergency stims, boom, she's still alive, she still counts as a POI scorer. So emergency stims is really good on the commandos. It's even better on a unit of commandos when the bus has the backrolled medic. And I've explained this before, but if I've used emergency stims last round, so maybe you say last round you use emergency stims, now you're going to take 1 because it was near the end of the round. They only got 1 shot through. You were going to lose a Mando, so you're like, all right, you know what? I'm going to use emergency stims. So now you go with the Mandos the next round. You shoot, you lose a guy, and then hopefully you put an order on the AA5. You move the AA5 in, and then you heal that unit of Mandos that just went. And so now you took that shot, but you basically got that unit back. They might get suppression, but at least you've got all 4 guys left. Or again, you shoot, you take 1 wound. The next round, you recover, get the emergency stims back. You shoot, you lose a guy still, and then you use your backworld medic, bring 1 back, and now you've got your emergency stims and your guy back, so you can do it all over again. And if you have the shields, well, if someone has Ion, which you're seeing tons of snows with Ion, or some rebel troopers with Ion, then you lose a shield before you can even use them. So now you're paying 10 points for 1 shield that's non-rechargeable, and there's no point to it. AMG definitely needs to fix that for these guys. They're not overpowered by any means to have 2 shields on them with recover, because you've got droid commandos that have shielded 2, recharge 2, and you're not seeing that all the time on them anyway. So sure, make it a little more expensive. Make it like 10 points, or make it 15 points if you have to. I doubt you're going to need it that way, but it would be worth it to actually finally have shields that work a little bit more. But E-stims, I think, is how I'm taking my Mandos. So that's it. All of these will be in the description down below if you're interested. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about the truck and some other types of lists that it can go with. If you're interested, please head to the Patreon and support the channel. It really will help me out a lot. I cannot recommend these order tokens enough. These things really are so good. The graphic design on them is spectacular. I bring them everywhere I go, whenever I go to a tournament, and play with them, if I ever play with them live in person. And yeah, head on over to the Discord, and please feel free to start commenting and doing whatever you want. Not whatever you want, but, contributing to talking, because it'll help you with the giveaway. But alright guys, that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and y'all have a great rest of your week, and have a good weekend as well. Peace out.